What's cracking, you two? What it do? Man, my motherfucking foot's been hurting. Hopefully, I walk it off. Sometimes, usually, it does. And I walk, it'll start. What's good, Joe? What's cracking? I'm out here at the park. I got out here on time. Planning to be out early. Dang, my foot is hurting, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't know how. Usually it don't do this. Like it's not gonna hurt where. Let's see if I can walk through it. Yeah, I intended to get out here earlier, but getting going earlier got me out here on time. So I made it. I actually made it. I actually made it out here at noon. So I'm put that. Let me put that beam on you. Let me put that infrared on you. Put that infrared. I was on the rest all weekend. Was laying my sister to rest in the native tradition. That's what's up. Oh man. Yeah, you know. And that's see. Here's the thing. Like where I'm at studying wise, and this is where like because I'm just putting it on Facebook. If you want to read it, you're going to have to go on Facebook and read it. You know what I mean? Like right now, I may end up having to stop because I don't know how far I can make it. Like honestly, like this shit is hurt. It's hurting worse. Usually that doesn't happen. But let's see. I'm trying to just, fuck. This is killing me. I walk past this shit. It's like a sharp pain in between my toes. It's shooting up. Like I can feel that shit all the way up. But it's subsiding. Pray it goes away. But yeah, so okay, there's a lot that's compressed in any one of those essays or theses. Like, so in some of it, I stretch it out. Like there's a book, right? So on the Daniel Pina side, it's real clear what's out there right now. In all honesty, I don't need to put any more out there to resolve any conflicts, right? So if you have any questions concerning, like, let's say native traditions and where they come from, it's all explained there. See, this is a debate and discussion that I had with Benji a long time ago, right? Everybody has it. Every biased, bigoted, racist individual on earth always starts from their racist perspective. And I try to explain this to Ben. He's going to a particular point in time believing that empire has an origin story in and of itself. So like he was last in Peru or wherever and seeing the Inca shit, right? What he doesn't understand is that all the peoples of the earth come out of Babel. You see what I'm saying? Racist, biased, bigoted people always stop at a stake point and they state a claim. They stake a claim and a belief that's divine. Oh, what about this? These people were here that tells a different story to what they're telling. Yes, to the whitewashed history of America, yes, and of the world, yes, it's true. But the origins of mankind don't begin with an Inca, an Aztec, or any tribe here. Every tribe here migrated here from Africa, just like every person of the earth migrates out of that land. If we are to believe the book, the Bible. So here's where the white people get washed into their place, in fact, because they've stolen the history. Now, what you'll read in there and you'll find in there is how in the Hebrew tradition, the oracles, right? So the medicine men, the sages, the wise men, the astrologers, the diviners, the seers, these are the people in every tribe, every tradition who fell out and were able to civilize in other places. They had the oracle in order to conceive of those very pyramids in which they designed. There's no difference in. That's why there's a relation to. That's why everybody sees the same thing in all the symbols, all the signs. And why do all of these places fall on these unique parallels? You see, people, that's the understanding. Right here, we've had the wool pulled over our eyes to believe that the story we've believed our whole lives is true. It's not. Let's start with the fact that the story we believed about ourselves and whole of history is not true. So if we start from that, right, and we understand that the prophet said that there's none that seeks after God, there's none righteous, no, not one. So that negates every authority on earth that claims righteousness, holiness, or any kind of morality or ethics or principles by law. Because the Torah supersedes the any and every law of mankind on earth. There's not a tribe on earth, nowhere, no how that can deny what's written in the Torah. As a Native American, any Native American who would read the Torah would understand it. If you weren't racist and biased and bleeding the same blood that's been bled on this soil since they got here. What people don't understand is that the settlement of this land begins with the Spanish first, not the Anglo-Saxons who wrote the history after the fact, who were hiding their Jewish ancestry all along. That's where the oracles come from. That's how they come up. That's how Israel rises at the end. Israel has no place in this in the story at that until that point where now we see the ascension of, now everyone can clearly see Babylon and it's falling in one day. How the empire's collapsing in one day. Everyone must give an account for the same. They can't claim Jesus Christ and then throw away the law. That's what the Catholics try to do. They assimilated Christianity into Roman politics, and it became an empire state, a Catholic empire state that then came here during the Inquisitions through the Spanish, Portuguese, French, Netherlands, and then the Anglo-Saxon out of Great Britain, which then would follow the Irish and Italian and all the others. But the Portuguese and the Spanish the slave trade was already coalescing there and being brought here through the Bahamas. So the Spaniards had land here first. So all these people fighting, talking about this is a Christian, this is a that. No, it's a Catholic nation. It's a Roman Catholic empirical nation that continues to use the same laws and orders and principles of divinity and simplicity and complexity all the same against its inhabitants, doesn't it? It's an accumulation of every empire all at once. And what does it say in chapter 18 of Revelations? In one day, just like this, you know, I tell my mom, you can pray to see the same day I see while you're still sitting here, because I see him coming. But if you want to be laid to rest, then, you know, you be laid to rest in peace, because otherwise it'd be contention. And don't come telling me, mama, you see my mom after the fact. That ain't cool. So I'm of the same spirit. You know what I mean? I let the dead bury the dead. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go nowhere near a dead body for no reason. I want to live. I'm trying to live. That's why I come out. That's why I do mine. You know what I mean? That's why I set the precedent for myself. You know what I mean? Five Media, yeah, the Jesuits brought Catholicism to the Yaquis, and now our native religion is blending in their beliefs in Catholicism, right? Saying to the, exactly. All the tribes here, except for a few. Apaches, no. I mean, okay, so it's different on San Carlos, dude. Like, that reservation is different. The feds don't fuck around there. People don't fuck around there, bro. The San Carlos reservation is different than all the rest here. But the reservation's just like, you know, I can't speak to the border, but you know what I mean? Like, right there in particular, but I know, like, especially the San Carlos Reservation, I know that shit's the treachery that exists. I know the hell that they fucking, they designed that for shit for a reason, bro. They compressed the people's there for a reason. They put on, you know, like, this is the thing, like, okay, so all of the traditions were stolen. You have to understand something, that the German Jews stole okay, well, I wouldn't say they stole it. They used the same principles. Okay, so where pharmacology comes from, it's botanical Arizona, as a matter of fact. Why do you think that the U.S. has strategic military bases here in this basin right here at the Papago Mountain Range? Because that basin is unique. Why do you think Governor Hunt was buried there? It's unique. Like, you don't understand that, like, that those pools of water there, they were created by the tribes. The tribes are the ones who were first running water off of those mountain rivers. They come from the Rockies. It's not until the gold rush. It's not until the gold rush when all that money starts spreading this way, when the Wrigleys and all them start staking claims in this land here, that all that settlement stuff starts happening. You know what I mean? Like, there's different time frames for each of the Indian wars. You know what I mean? And what triggers everything here, you know what I mean? You got to remember something, that Geronimo was triggered by an event himself. So what happens with the Apaches, you know, especially with the Chiricahua, is unique to his story alone. You know what I mean? And especially a lot of the tribes around here that were bandied around him, because, you know, he wasn't unique in that. He was triggering a response throughout the tribes. You know what I mean? Like Geronimo was spreading war cries throughout all the war chiefs. You know what I mean? Like, so from the Sioux, the Aglala, everybody were, you know what I mean, at that time, you know what I mean? It was war, dude. The U.S. military, and then you think down here, it was with the Spaniards first. The Spaniards, Mexicans, and Americans, dude. The Apache of the Chiricahuas fought off the Spanish, the Mexicans, and the Americans. Geronimo did that shit dolo. He kept running. They couldn't contain that fool. So yeah, like the Viva Zapatas and all that other shit, nah, they're bandidos, homie. They're not warriors. They're straight bandidos, and everybody knows that. They were paid bandidos by the American government, as a matter of fact. That's a factual history. So yeah, that's what triggered that response there. You know, there's a lot that coincides with that history, because it's been whitewashed in such a way that they try to tell, listen, they try to tell the story as if the colonization of the world was inevitable. Well, yeah, when you use the oracles of God, you lie. You know what I'm saying? You make yourself out to be, you know, the vicar of Christ. You start all of these churches and all of these symbols. Yeah, the world still believes the bullshit. They fall into the same Roman order at the time, dog. Every church, every Christian denomination on earth falls out of Rome. It don't come unique in its own self. None of them trace back to those origins. So every church on earth is in heresy. That includes mosque and synagogue. So where you going to turn to? Like, you're going to turn to another false teacher, your pastor or whatever, and have him question God before you? Or question you before God? What is the other? If I had a MAGA Christian put my native beliefs down, saying We are perverting true Christianity by blending our beliefs. I didn't know. Listen, listen. Just ask him. Does he keep the Torah and the Tanakh? Does he keep the law and the prophets? 613 commandments, not 10. Start with that. You know what I mean? They want to claim Jesus Christ in the conversation. Then ask him, do they keep the law as Jesus Christ did? As every Jew on earth must keep every one of those commandments. Did they do it? Because he did. He kept every 613 one of those commandments. Not 10, not everything that falls out after, all of them. That Jewish man. Now, do they keep the law? If not, they don't have the sprinkling of the blood, so they need to shut up. That silences every last one of them. I just did that for you. You can run that video at them. Tell them to shut up. And to the Jews, where's Yom Kippur? Where's your blood sacrifice at to the Jew now? Where is your blood sacrifice at to the Jew now? Yom Kippur, you can't give no blood sacrifice to God, can you? There is no high priest to go sprinkle no blood no more. So what do you have in the sight of God during these days of desolation and abomination? That's all you got to say to every last one of them. Let's shut up. Man, bring any one of them bigots out of the closet and watch me put my heel on his head. I don't give a fuck if he's black, brown, white, Jewish, German, fucking slant eye or whatever. Asian, African, I don't give no fucks. Come out the woodworks and get the heel put on your head, serpent. Come out here talking like you entitled to anything but facing that goddamn law yourself, big head, big mouth motherfucker. That's what you do to him. That's what you do to any and every man on earth. You hear me doing it to him? You know why? God's doing it to me all the same. All at the same time. Look, hey, my moderators, report that one right there for spam. The one that keeps spamming, go ahead and report that one for spam. Yeah, we know. No, report them. Hey, Joe, report every time he put that, just report spam, 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 spam. Just keep reporting them. Yeah, we see how I got him triggered. Who would be triggered to respond like that, huh? Who would be triggered to respond? Look at how they're responding. And in tandem, right? Do I not prove the point? Listen, I don't have a broad viewing audience for it to be anything other than any two content creators on here. Does anybody want to name them? Why are they still going on? Never mind. Hold on, dog. I don't know why I have moderators on here. You should have been got this shit, bro. Seriously, why are you guys just sitting around? That's annoying, dog. That pisses me off about my moderators, too. My moderator, like... Yeah, listen. You see, they're both doing it. The other one just blocked the other one. Listen, they're going to come in tandem. They want their names on here. Everybody knows who they are, little weaklings. But this is about Jesus Christ. This is about God. This isn't about cutting men's penises off. This isn't about little cowards and gangs. You want to talk about cowards and gangs in contrast and compared to the Torah? These little dudes are punks, dog. Some guy listen, this is how weak California's prison system is, right, dog? A dude got some beef with another dude, so he stabs him and kills him. So what? It's his fucking business. That punk right there killed a 15-year-old kid, and because he's being protected by somebody, what? All those fucking crash test dummy little weak punk motherfuckers go and jump on that fool? Why? Because he's protected and you fools are protected in numbers? Now let's go back to the history of the Mexican mafia in California. That punk Weddle, he was scared. It's a fact that they knew that fucking the numbers mattered. It's part of their own testimony, their own story, that motherfucker went to him, to the next in line, and started getting people because it was a matter of numbers. There was strength in numbers, and that punk motherfucker could stand on his own. So that situation right there is telling to how weak they become. That shit, Man, old pussy ass shit. And that's what triggers these little punks, because they can't keep up with the conversation. They wanted it to turn to that. So there you go. That dead your whole conversation. Fuck all of them. It ain't gonna get no clearer, little boys. I see how you little scary old punks dance around the subject. Oh, I don't know what happened. I told you what happened. Homie stabbed that motherfucker, killed him because he had beef with him. That punk motherfucker killed a kid, dude. And he got what the fuck he deserved. That shit was justice. And a bunch of crash test dummies to prove what? That they're fucking childish, they're immature, they're punk motherfuckers that gotta take orders. You scary ass motherfuckers gotta wait on orders. Shut up. Go sit in line and shut up now. We're talking about bigots, and you see what happens? And listen, it's stereotypical to the two duo that's already been identified on both ends. We know they're racist. We know what triggers them. We know mentally they're weaklings. We know they can't keep up with the conversation. Everybody knows I shut one channel down. The other two just keep rambling on live drunk. They ain't putting out shit worth nothing. And who am I talking about? Nobody. Nobody. I'm just a JK. Nobody. Why they keep playing around doing what? You just showing your pantyhose, bros. That's it. That's all you're showing us. You're weak. You're cowards. Well, you think it's gonna change something? I'm out here at the park. I got headphones. I can't hear shit but myself. Somebody literally has to accost me and confront me in a way that's obvious on camera and say something to me that's going to be obvious on camera. You want to get my attention like that? Okay. You see, because it's people like that don't make this world safe. You know, they're the ones who have all these scary stories about where they are and what they've been about and everything. They're the ones who have all that. These are the very threat to the community. They're the ones that keep continuing to have these conversations about the community in the worst of ways. Yeah, we know your people are fucked up. They're crackheads, they're rapists, they're pedophiles. So what? You gonna keep telling us about this shit, or are you gonna do something about it? Are you gonna go spank your children now? Because the fact of the matter is, gangs start with unruly youth. So where are their parents at? And if they don't have no parents, then where are the elders at in the community that's standing up and taking the lead? Because there is none, is there? I hear a whole bunch of cowards that is my age on here talking about how frightened they are and how frightening it is when Justice Department statistics prove otherwise. So we know it's just Hollywood make-believe bullshit that you fools are doing on here now. Man, come on. Until the next rapper gets killed out there ain't shit going on. Somebody go eat at Roscoe's so they can get killed. One of you rappers dare go pull up with your chains and shit and go flex at Roscoe's and get you one. I wish you wouldn't go eat no chicken at Roscoe's. I wish you would take that shit to go. I wish you would have Uber eated that shit. You heard what 21 Savage say? And these numbnuts, they still... You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is it exposes who they are is the problem with it. I personally don't. I'm explosive in and of myself, and I have a backpack on me, fool. Keep that in mind. I'm in a state with a right to bear arms. Yeah, you don't want to tread on mine. No, not my constitutional rights. Not as a native Arizonan, Apache, Messianic, Jew, Hebrew. You kind of don't want to do that. Not while I'm teaching the Torah, Tanakh, Talmud, every translation of the Holy Bible, plus the Quran and the histories thereof. So when you can stand up a rabbi, imam, or ayatollah, or pastor, preacher, pope on earth that can do that with me, they can keep pace with me running like I am talking for hours, keep running and going. If they can't do that, then they ain't even worth the word of God that's coming out of their mouth right now. That's on God. If they got to be standing there taking money from the people to hear the word of God when I'm doing this daily walking like this, free, yeah, man, you know you lying. You know you got itching ears and you going there to hear what you want to hear. You ain't trying to hear no truth. Keep running along. How's your brother from South Africa? Who is that? I can't even see. Shout out South Africa. Appreciate you tapping in, South Africa. Rizza. I'm going to call you Rizza. Skylar, what is the truth? What is the truth? Okay, here's where you don't understand. You didn't ask a question that's logical. Your question makes no sense. So now first, now you give me the meaning of the word truth first. That's my answer to you. Give me the meaning of the word truth first. The literal definition, meaning, dictionary, and every meaning that comes out of Oxford Language Dictionary, give me every meaning of the word truth. Start with that. Start with learning the word today, like truth. Learn what it means, every facet of it. And then the next word you learn today is etymology. Learn what the word etymology means. Because the etymology of a word traces its roots to where the word comes from. Who was the first one that slurred it out of their mouth and slanged that on the other people and gave that definition to it? That's where vernacular and verbiage and language comes from. From the Hebraic or Aramaic to the Semitic languages of Babel. The single Semitic language of Babel. So what do you want to talk about in truth now? Let me reset your whole understanding of truth before we move forward, even discussing what the truth is, in fact. Because your understanding of where humanity begins is another delusion you're under. It's a lie. The most basis of instincts and answers you could give is that you came out of your mother and father. Your father shot nut and your mother, she got pregnant and gave birth to you. Those are the biological facts. You ain't no more unique than that, dude. There ain't no more discussion about your nothing. It's all divine. You think that these vessels are any more important than the rest. They're not. That's another mistake. Now, if you read in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, you'll see that it says that God shall send a strong delusion over the earth that they shall believe a lie. Meaning every human on earth has believed a lie since until the seventh week in Bible prophecy in which Babylon crumbles, which is now. So do you believe a God exists? We know a God exists. We know that God exists because we couldn't have gotten this far in human history without a divine oracle to guide us. An oracular view of life as you're progressing in order to build a tower like Babel, pyramids like Giza, you know what I'm saying? Ascend armies like Assyria, you know what I'm saying? Build libraries as in Babel and beyond. Build these empires to be what they are today, because we didn't get all of this all at once. That's why they didn't have what technologies we had, because it all had to be developed over time. So genetics, science proves that all human beings come out of the same origins, which traces back to the Bible story in Genesis. There are three tribes, distinct tribes in the story. There's not just Adam and Eve. There are Libyans and there are Ethiopians in the Genesis stories that predates Egypt, because it's from there that they go to Babel. And they're murderous after Cain murders Abel. That's what you don't understand about humanity. God had to wipe it out.
There. I'm gonna hang on to these. No.
You see, the thing is that all of the scriptures and all of the literature coalesce. So when you add the Ethiopian Bible and the Maccabees, and you tell of the tale of Esther and all of this stuff, then you understand the full story of how we got here. You don't understand that atheists are not even worth the discussion. Because if you don't get it by now, dude, go ahead, walk off the end of the earth in a straight line. Just keep walking until you get hit. End of discussion. There's nothing else to talk about. If you don't believe that there is something greater than oneself in oneself that gives one the ability to do that thing that one cannot do in that moment, prime example, right? The focus and attention it takes to throw that disc down range, and your focal and your auricular view, you can see it going there like you can see the shot. Like you can see the ball, everything getting caught and passed and touchdown. Same thing, same principle applies. Now, when you stand up on a perch and you look at something and you're able to survey it, you can set it in grids. And you understand that water goes like this because it goes back into the ocean at sea level, which is surface level. Sea level is surface level. I sit there. I stand there. I walk there. In an arid subtropical climate, because it has running rivers down mountains. That's why Governor Hunt and his family is entombed where they are, because he was up there. Obviously, he stuck claim to that place. I would have too. If I was Governor Hunt and I seen them natives playing down in that water right there at Papago Park, where Hunt's tomb is, because he stood there with a focal. He stood there like this. At every angle, he got every degree. He stuck his claim right there on that property. Imagine that. Governor Hunt had the longest tenureship in U.S. history until Governor Kasich. He had the longest consecutive governor tenureship. And they developed all this during the gold rush. You got to understand American history and how it all coalesced. I'll bend this corner because I got to give me some water. That's one thing, I've been getting dehydrated. Another thing is like, so today, because my brother made a turkey yesterday, thank God. So I got some good protein from that turkey. So I just, you know what I mean? I balance it with some carbohydrates, with some bread, some white bread, and just, wheat bread to be better, I know, but, so I just balance it with them carbohydrates, come out and get this walk, because I know I'm going to burn it quick, but that's how I was telling my mom, that's the one thing that's killing me, because I'm not having the energy. You know what I mean? Because I've been doing the intermittent fasting too much. So now I need to start coming out here regular now on the protein and burn that off, and then start really setting my diet on how I'm going to eat at the intervals that I'm going to eat at. I see, that's the thing about my walk. Didn't I say this? You could go back on these you could go back on these lives. Remember, when I first started coming out here on these lives, I was going in the other direction, right? And in the course of my studies, this is all explained on here, that I realized that if I changed course and went the same way that the earth is actually spinning, it would have a physiological effect, neurological and all this scientific effect. And truly it has. Like, you know, of course, and I say this all the time, I'm going to get turned up. That's inevitable. I'm going to offend everybody because it first offends me. Listen, as a human being, I want to be friends with it. I want to be accepted. I'm just like everybody else in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, in essence, I'm just a child like everybody else who wants to be with the friends, play some ball and stuff. Just be, you know what I mean? Like, but then there's the spirit in me that's unrelenting. You know what I mean? It's just not gonna, it's just, You know what I mean? It's like like the apostle said, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You know what I mean? So here's the battle for myself, and I have to balance it with divine order. So I have to order my day structurally, like rabbinical. Like any rabbi would have to structure his day. This is the way my days are being structured. See, this is what the viewing audience doesn't realize for themselves. Because everybody's typing in for your own reasons. You see what I'm saying? At any given moment, no one is consistently watching and seeing and gaining that perspective. There's a complete turnaround in what's happening. And listen, how much of what happens is just by chance? Because I can't, listen, scheduling my day is not that simple around the fact that I have to, so many people are depending on me right now for a ride, which is all good by me. Everybody understands that. It's never been a problem for anyone to call on me, but everyone that has to in this moment has to understand and bear the same burden with me that you guys all need me the same. So if you guys are gonna need me with a certain sense of urgency, you know, like my homegirl needed me to get her to and from school and stuff. So it's like, then I gotta prioritize who I'm gonna be taking where, because I'm gonna have to be running it against my schedule. You know what I mean? So, and I don't mind working mine around theirs when there's need. They always know that you know, if there's, I gotta do it. I gotta be walking, get a car. I gotta go. My mom's out in the rain. My mom and my brother are out in front of Walgreens in the rain and shit. I'm out here walking in the rain, enjoying this shit, and I gotta go. It's real life right here. This real life TV. I mean, the rest of it is just storytelling, right? Or commentary, which is good when you're chill back. You want to just, you know, but as far as you're going to gain anything from it, like, understand something. Listening to these dudes hype these stories up about gangs, they're only doing it so they can get paid. Listen, what truth are they telling? Huh? I'm telling the truth when I say that we was weak for doing what we did. People act as if I'm trying to make myself out to be all like, nah, I was the same little punk motherfucker too. What do you mean, dude? That's a kick in the mouth of who I was first. You know, the rest, they pride themselves on it and they act like they don't. They try to act as if they're putting on a kind of story. Oh, this one right here is gonna shock you. This one shocked me. Like, no, it didn't, man. You can't escape your own PTSD and you don't realize it. It's just PTSD. That's it. All these dudes, every video they put out talking about this, and when they sit there like that, oh, this is it. This one shocked me right here. I can't believe this one went down in CDC. This is mind-blowing right here. This never happens. This one right here, oh, don't you realize you dummies are always saying that every time? Oh, this never happens. Yeah, until it happens. And it's going to keep being the next one and the next one and the next one. Every story that Mundo told up to every story that Boxer told, it's the same tale of woe. You're still talking about it. You're still reliving your same trauma and you don't want to get out of there? Do you have the means of moving out of your misery? Why don't you come out of Arizona and talk about something different? I listen, with those type of numbers, those type of subs, if you were to move out here, you know what I mean, and just change lanes, stop talking about that, come out here, show out here, bro, you'll still get the same audience, and then you'll draw in more. You'll draw in more because you'll be able to bring people out here. You ain't even knowing how you can grow your own platform by getting out of your own misery. You're stuck in your own muck. That's just swine eating its, that's just swine in its own, eating its own. That's all it is. That's filth. You know, they want to project theirs at mine. I reflect all of it back at everybody. Because I remind everybody of where I come from. And in reminding myself of where I come from and reminding everybody where I come from, It reminds everybody of where they come from. You know, as adults, we want to act, you know, everything becomes taboo over time as if. How do you train a toddler to do what they're supposed to do? You put your hand on their hands and you do it for them. Well, you do it for them before you put your hand on their hands and do it for them. You know what I'm saying? But this is, you think about it, that would be embarrassing for anyone to talk about, because you would think, yeah, when you're dealing with criminals, criminal-minded people that all they talk about is gangs and shit like that, all that they see is their own perversion right in front of them. You can't have a conversation about nothing like that, because to them it's perverted. Because they're perverted in their own minds. But they don't understand what it takes to raise a child, to rear a child. They're not responsible as men. You know, how many of them did you ever hear explain that? Every woman knows that. Any real woman watching this understands and knows that as a matter of fact. And rearing a child, it goes from wiping it for them to putting your hand on theirs and wiping it for them. Grown-ass men don't even understand this shit. But they want to sit there and hype up, you know what I mean, gangs and drugs and violence. With listen, okay, there's what's the point of when there's no guidance towards any other direction? I tell people, you could go on my Facebook and read the literature, dude. To me, it shows, the links on here, people can go on there and read. With the numbers on here, it shows like, okay, it shows me the type of people, right? So the people that are sitting here watching it live, the hour predicates where you are, for one thing. So I understand about a lot of the fixed positions of everyone watching me right now. You're watching me so judgmental, not realizing, yeah, I get where you're at. I have the greatest sense of all, knowing basically, especially if you're a content creator. It's neither here nor there. It's a thing where, like I say, there's actual literature. Go read. If you find it offensive that I tell you to go read a book, what does that say about you? Go take a look in the mirror, dude. If you can't read a book, yeah, bro, you need to go back to school, dude, for reals. Think about this in this day and age. As adults, we don't read books. We'll sit there and TikTok all goddamn day long. We're reduced down to audio, video cues with fucking small incremental fucking wording, and reduced down to our language being EBT. Or as it was put in fucking the book 1984 by Orwell, fucking newspeak. It's fucking newspeak. And at the time that the television was coming out, Orwell wrote that book. Think about that shit. He envisioned that shit way back then, and look at us now acting like we're so much better than who? You're so much better than George Orwell, who saw you doing that stupid shit, and he didn't see none of it. What the fuck? It just goes to show the delusion of grandeur that humanity has always been under. And then turn to a God for what? What do you turn to a God for? You pray you think he's a genie in a bottle? That's the expectation you have when he says first repent, which means turn to, read the law. 6, I'll read the book of Leviticus. Start with that much. And then what? And then what? See, I caught one right now. I caught me a troll. Hold on. This is, see, I caught a gay one. Hold on. Tom Papa. Define the word gay first. Let's start with that. Give me a definition of the word gay, because I understand the word gay to mean happy. And you can go look it up. Any and everybody can actually go look it up. I am right. The word gay does mean happy. Go look it up first. Now, give me your definition, because obviously you're coming twisted. You're coming sideways. You're obviously coming at an angle, which, you know, I would say is westward from where I am. It's always left, dog. It's always left. It ain't never east to the right, dog. It ain't never that, dog. So let me say, because speaking of gay with the rainbow flag, that you find first in California. The rainbow flag and "Are you gay" first is seen in California. Am I correct? Culture-wise, am I correct? Does it not first come over there? And was not San Francisco first the homosexual capital of the nation before Atlanta, Georgia? The blacks took over, the whites and browns had it up there? Because the Spaniard, you know, kind of like with the Anglo-Saxon thing up in Frisco blurred up into that little coalesce. And then Tyler Perry took it to Atlanta, Georgia, and brought all the blacks out of the closet. So what are you talking about? Why I say all the blacks? My bad, my apologies. To all of the above. Because that only applies to gay people like Tom, Papa. But, you know, just a lesson to any human being on earth first. If you want to ask a question, understand the words you speak first. Because I may question a word, single, like gay. You misapplied. Because I don't know what you mean by saying that. And you put a whole bunch of symbols and signs that represent, I don't know what, but I can assume, and I said what I said based on that assumption. Correct? Correct. Now, but going back to your first mistake, which is the word you use, which I said, as is a matter of fact, I believe the word to be gay, being happy. You, on the other hand, need to explain what you mean. Checkmate. You can go read the book of Leviticus too. Checkmate. So if you want to talk about homosexualities, yeah, there's a punishment for them too. Checkmate. But it does adulterers and adulteress first. Checkmate. So go check yourselves. If you've ever committed adultery, fornication, all these things, yeah, you're worthy of death, just like the homosexuals. So don't act like you're above or beyond the rest to come on here and try to judge somebody. Are you gay? I'm happy. How about yourself? Now I'm going to keep it moving now, little kid. Because obviously you can't keep up with the conversation, bro. You're sitting there, think about this. I'm being stalked by people who are actual YouTubers on fake troll accounts. Everybody knows who they are. They're stalking me, which means they're sitting, watching, fervently, drooling at the mouth, anticipating a moment that they're triggered when I say something that they step back, but I've gotten so far up under their skin that I pop their pimple on a particular point that they're always triggered on. Because it undermines everything they believe in life, everything they stand for, everything they represent. So when they try to put it out there to the public, they look weak. They know they look weak because they can't stand up next to a motherfucker like me that can do it running. You can't sit there and throw that, hey, let's do a celebrity boxing. Bring your punk ass over here and don't say nothing. Gangsters moving silence, get it, or ghost. I don't know where you punk motherfuckers are coming from, dog. I don't do politicking, homie. Sneak me, homie. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do, dog. If you take offense to that shit, especially you wanna act like you somebody, you know what I mean, you a dick taker and life taker and shit like that from the back, go ahead. Try me. But otherwise, J Knight, the mere mention of God sends them on a tyrant. It does, doesn't it? You're absolutely right. Because there's a deeper message in that, isn't there? There's a deeper meaning no matter what to everyone when God is invoked in any sense. What God do you speak of in the presence of mankind these days, right? Because to speak of a God can be offensive to any man in mankind, depending on what he believes, correct? The moral question lies in the foundational principles that apply to Torah, Tanakh, and the New Testament and the Quran, which attain to law. Because God gave the 12 tribes land, apportioned it to them. And he gave weeks in which the land was to rest and be restored, Jubilee. And all rights were to be restored, Jubilee. right? 49 to 50 years, the land and everything was to be restored. Every slave was to be freed. True or false? So when are we going to have Jubilee on earth, when the slaves get set free and the land gets set free? Oh, because as long as there's landlords on earth, then this world is cursed. It's the landlords who hold stake and claim in land that doesn't belong to them, because God created the earth. No man on earth is responsible for the creation of earth itself, nor is man responsible for the creation of mankind himself. So who is man to judge mankind himself without facing the law as God set forth by the prophets? And then sacrifice a prophet, call him what you want. I say his son, only begotten, born of the virgin, as was attested by the prophet Muhammad in the Quran. So I just slipped past the New Testament to go back to the point that crucifixion and that ascension already happened. Although the prophet Muhammad never seen it, I see it coming again. How about you? You see, no man has a right to own the earth because no man created the earth. So no man can justify owning the land based on a Christian principle or a principle that's scriptural without adhering to the Torah first. Now, if the slaves are not free every Jubilee and the land is not restored to its rightful owner every Jubilee, then we live in sin. This is Babylon all over again, but under a Roman cloak, calling itself Christianity, which got here through Catholicism during the Inquisitions. The Spanish brought it here first when they were in the Inquisitions. And then it was fought over. It was literally warred over here with the French, the Netherlands, and then the Anglo-Saxons who settled the dust. And there you have your constitutions and your declarations and everything, whitewashed history that they've told since then. And they've been militarizing it and strategizing it and moving it through the Pentagon ever since. This has been a military state. This has been a military extension of Rome ever since. That's why it's all allied under one force, and you see who they protect. That ain't no secret. By no means is that no secret. There's none righteous, no, not one. There's none that seeks God, none. Read what it says. Big old B. I know, we all know you're just trolling, but listen, never mind. You have eyes, right? Huh? Hey, do you have eyes? Big old, hey, big old dummy. You have eyes, correct? Do you have eyes? You have eyes, right? Do you have eyes? I want just come on, answer the question. You said the earth is flat. I'm asking you a question. Do you have eyes? You suggested that. No one believes that, but do you have eyes? I'm gonna tell you how to lie to you. Or your heart lies to you because you're deceived. You believe any goddamn thing you want. You're a straight liner. You're the easiest people to pervert. The earth is flat. Okay, any and everybody that believes the earth is flat took it in the booty. You all take it in the booty. Them are flatliners right there, dog. Flat earthers are flatliners on earth. You flatline, fool. You straight flatline. Beep. Hey, you have eyes, right? You still can't answer the question. This is how you know dummy is, dummy does. Dummy says what dummy is. Flatline. Beep. Come on, flat earther. I thought we was going to have fun with this debate. And I don't usually debate people on here. I just shut them down, but that one was easy. You know, you do have rounded vision, don't you? So I don't know how the fuck you figure anything on earth was straight. Hey, you're stupid enough to believe that any line on earth is straight. Which way? Huh? Which way is up then? Hey, hey, why? Hey, listen, the Earth is flat. Hey, what shape is that? Hey, what shape is that? Hey, what shape is that? Hey, why is everything else in orbit the same shape? That's flat too? You have eyes, right? That's the sun, right? We know how valuable the sun is to the Earth, right? So you have eyes, correct? Oh, brother man, brother man, brother man. What's the matter with your face, bro? That's what I don't understand about you, fool. Hey, say what happened? They get shut down quick on her. Did I get shut down quick on her? So how's everybody doing this afternoon? It's gonna be 1 o'clock right now. I've been on here almost an hour. So I'm gonna tell you, go check out, cause I was gonna stop and read that shit, but I'm not, cause I'm only gonna get about an hour out here right now, a little over an hour. So I'm gonna just do an hour on here and then push and then go, cause I got some shit to do right now. But I wanted to read that book, which I'll probably come back maybe later. What I just posted right now, because I hadn't read it yet. That's why I really wanted to sit and read it. But they just came out right now on Facebook. I just posted it. I started to read it, and then, but you got to understand something, that once I post something out there, I've read all of the research material already, and there's a lot of it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not in the text, but I have it right there in the chats. You know what I mean? It just when I copy paste, it doesn't put it in there. But if I tell it to put it in there, I can have it in there. So I have all the resources. I have all of the, like, every bit of the resource, all of the history is all incorporated into all of it. It doesn't speak without the facts. Can't speak without facts. Let me get some water. Who can speak without the facts? Hey, this fool said the Earth is flat. Hey, what's the shape of your toilet bowl if the Earth is flat? Huh? Why is there even a circle if the Earth is flat? I don't think we could ever have anything rounded on Earth if the Earth was flat. You have to understand logics. It don't logically make no sense what you're saying. They would give it to me. This was the first one. Did I put my phone? Let's see for a hot second. Cause I want to chill anyway. I turn this bitch on. The Earth is flat. Me too. Hey. So here's the thing. Okay, so like on my Facebook, and this is on here too. You could post this in the comments, not in the chat, but drop it in the comments. Any subject you want me to talk on, right? So look, you have to listen. You have to ask me questions you do not know the answers to. I will not answer rhetorical questions. None. A rhetorical question is a setup for some dumb fuck shit. I'm not doing it. I want questions that are mysterious to the people who are asking them. Something you don't know. Something that just boggles your mind. That's what I want. Don't try to come at me with something you think you know I don't know. Don't do that. That's your first mistake. Ask a question you don't know the answer to. Don't, cause that all trying to get like, nah, we're not doing that, dude. Like, that's just been done for too long. That little trick shit that like people trying to act smart, like, nah, you come direct. You're dealing with a real intellect now. All that fake snake shit, I don't care how smart somebody sounds. I don't care what subject they're nah, dude, I don't care. Listen, I'll sit Dr. Fauci down right now. That ain't gonna matter. Bro, we got to give an account. You know what I'm saying? Like we all have to give an account. So what say we for ourselves at the end of the day? You know what I mean? Like, okay, when pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Now, any man who would call himself religious or believes in a faith or anything like that, that's the first principle that should apply. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Now, if no man can claim that, which no pastor can, then what do we say for ourselves? We have to face the same law of judgment, correct? Because we're going to sit there and cast stones at another believing that the same law don't apply to who? Isn't that what bigotry is? Chapter X, compressed neighborhoods, engineered identities, MLK Ultra to drill rap. Introduction, from urban problem to cultural code. By the mid-20th century, black and brown communities in the United States were not simply poor or marginalized. They were deliberately compressed spatially, politically, and psychologically. Federal housing policies, urban renewal projects, and policing regimes did not randomly cluster black and brown bodies into inner cities. They produced a designed concentration of vulnerability and social control. At the same time, the U.S. national security state, emerging from World War II and the onset of the Cold War, developed a sophisticated understanding of how to shape perception, identity, and behavior. Programs such as MK Ultra focused on behavior modification, psychological manipulation, and interrogation, were part of a broader institutional ecosystem that treated human consciousness itself as a strategic terrain. This chapter argues that the weaponization of hip-hop, especially in gang-related subgenres from gangster rap to trap, mumble rap, and drill, cannot be understood outside this long history of policing-engineered compression of black and brown communities, state knowledge of urban conflict, gangs, and informal economies, media industries that convert stereotypes into profitable cultural code, and feedback loops where communities internalize, perform, and reproduce the identity scripts that were first imposed from the outside. Meaning the clothes you wear, what you believe, it comes from them. They're the first teachers of all of it. Nobody here learned anything apart from that. That's what no one seems to understand. No one learned anything apart from what's been taught. So what has been taught? And everybody else is going to go turn to a false teacher that's going to tell them what they want to hear. If you're a racist individual, you're going to go turn to your racist speakers to hear them speak about your race and tell how you did all these things in this country and how you belong here as a race, as an individual American race. You're an American race of people, black, brown, and all these are American races coming out of colonial Spain into colonial America. All of these identities that we first took upon ourselves were branded on us by our U.S. government. Never were we the things that we said we were unless we accept them to be true, ever. You're not that unless you accept it to be true. If you insist on being something, then you're that. Keep telling you. Keep being that. But don't be a bigot and turn to another and try to use another to justify your sin. When you realize that he who said thou shalt not kill also said thou shalt not commit adultery. And he who said thou shalt not commit adultery also said thou shalt not commit homosexuality or lay with another of the same. Or a beast, or all these sexual violations that are in the Torah. So if a man is not without sin, let him cast stones. But where is the man on earth that can do that? Oh, they'll stand. That was kind of interesting how they just turned off. Hey, bro, they cut my feet literally. Listen, bro. They literally ended my feed right there. Just terminated that. I don't have my other composition. I left my other composition over there, man, and it's got what I was working on yesterday, which is part of something that, like, listen, this literature that's being composed. The literature that's being composed, like, there's a lot of imagery that's involved in it. Like, I take, like, okay, so the set of photos, I took a set of photos at Hunt's tomb. I got the sun, I got shots of the sun coming down so you can see, right, with the sun right at the top, where the ultraviolet light would just form out, so it's at its lightest point up. That's the brightest it is up, because it's not yet set coming down. So it's because I got a bunch of them going up to get it to that point, so I know which one is which. And then I got the photos where they're going all the way around from where Hunt's buried at. So, right, I do a questionnaire of these, right? Like on that one right there, I'm questioning angles. I'm questioning the 33rd degree cut, diamond cut angle in principle, like on everything. So, okay, when I apply these principles to science as it applies, right, it readjusts. So, okay, time-wise, there's a day added to the Gregorian calendar because we're off a day. But the Hebrew calendar is consistent through and through originally. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's those that know, there's rabbis that know that, like, the Hebrew calendar's been overlaid over time, right? So, like, people, there's 12 months in the Hebrew calendar, but it's been overlaid at 10 months with the Julian 11, Gregorian 12, right? So these oracles, those are oracles right there. So those rabbis that designed the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar from within the Catholic Church. They had to have been rabbis. Every vesture of the Catholic Church comes from the Torah, Old Testament. That's Old Testament vestures right there. Everything is symbolic to the high priest going into the altar. The Pope that's who he claims, he's supposed to be the high priest going into the offer, giving you know what I mean? Like, it's all symbolic to what they attempted to do during the Crusades. The Roman Catholic Empire they wanted to rebuild the temple. And then that's where it crumbles on itself. That's where God collapses that. And that's where in chapter 13 of Revelations, where it says the beast received a deadly wound but did live, that's that expression right there. So the beast did receive a deadly wound. It's written in the dedication letter to King James. But it did live in the Protestant Reformation, which is all European. So every Christian denomination on earth, every Christian belief is based on all that. Everything, all of it. There's none that, listen, there's not one church that's different from the rest. Those pastors will sit there and give you the same tongue and nest, the same old testimony. Listen, they got that feel-good music shit down pat. They know how, listen, they know how to sell snow cones in the snow. For real, for real. That's all it is, Sue's saying, right? It sounds good when you go there, huh? They tell you exactly what you want to hear. Just put some money in the bucket and you're good. On God. Just go there, go put your money in the bucket and you feel better about yourself. Go shake some hands, take a breath of fresh air. You know you're going to feel like you back in God's good gracious for going there again. But then you're going to turn. As soon as you walk away, you're going to sin and you're going to have to go there again, right? So what's the problem? Why are you paying for your own problem to persist? You know what I mean? Like, when is Jubilee? You know what I mean? Like, I think God wants Jubilee on earth. You know what I mean? Like, free the slaves now. Free the land. Nah, let's not free the land, huh? Nah, let's don't do that. Nobody wants to do that, huh? All right, well then, let's keep killing and dying over it because that's what it's all about. It's all about the land. Who owns the land? Who owns the land? Who owns the media? Who owns all that? Controls the voice. Listen to him. It's babble. It's babbling. To me, you don't speak English. All languages have been reduced down to the most basic, fundamental, easiest language for anyone to learn English. English is the most simplest of fucking languages on earth. They're the most simplest of people. The Anglo-Saxons. They came in last, dude, and they deceived everyone. They're saying, listen, dude, it's the same Jew. It's the same rabbinical order. I'm not gonna say Jews, dude. It's the rabbis. Because to peg it all on all the Jews is to be anti-Semitic, and I'm not. I'm Semitic myself. All tribes are Semitic. Man, dude, we come from the same fucking origins. Who's the one who develops all this in Germany? Think about it. The same rabbis responsible were in Germany. You know what I mean? They were engineering all this technology. On this end, in the military, you got people like you got the Sarnoffs and everybody in the military industrial complexes developing between World War II, stealing all them German assets. They seized all them German assets, brought them to work for the U.S. Nuclear physicists and all that stuff. Every German engineering, they seized all them assets. And then they told a different story about why them wars went on. Nah, dude, you stole them assets. Don't lie. Stop. World War I and World War II was about nothing more than the formation of the military-industrial complex, the New World Order, and the globalization of fucking the economy, which the fucking Pentagon had controlled through the Allied forces, which explains all of Revelations. Because the Ottoman Empire crumbling and all this crumbling under this time frame fits the script of what's being described in chapter 13 of Revelations. All we did was live the conquests. We've outlived the conquest. There's those who remember it all. There's scribes and Pharisees and Sadducees on earth, rabbis on earth. There's wise men. There's medicine men from all tribes all over the earth. There's oracles all over from everywhere who understand this. Everybody's receiving the same vision in truth. Remember the Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath because on the seventh day, God rests. He rests from all his labor, from all that he created. He said, don't look to this, just rest. You know why? Because on that day he created us. So you turn to God to rest and let him deal with this. He got to deal with this. We got to trust and believe that God's going to deal with the rest if we just believe in him. I practice it, I preach it, I teach it. And my life's a blessing. It's like I explained to my homegirl. I said, look, at this point in my life, until I get to that place where I'm trying to go, what I'm praying for, you know what I'm saying? Because I share all of it with her. It's like, you know what I mean? Until then, I just keep it moving. I get it how I live, like God has me, always had me. You know what I'm saying? But I said, think about it. I come over here, I spend all the day with you, you know what I mean? Fucking eat, you know what I mean? Fucking chill, all this, you know what I mean? Kicking. So for me, I get to get out. I got a companion. I got somebody to talk to. Get to watch some. We chill back, watch a movie, eat all this other shit. So it's, for me, that's the blessing in itself, because we're having a conversation. This. You know what I mean? Like it's guiding her. It's inspiring her. It's uplifting her. You know what I mean? It's informing her, and at the same time, it's divine to me, because it's an epiphany as I go. It's like I told her. People don't understand is they triggered the conversations by what they do, what they say. Cause she sent me something. It's the march out here, and my reaction to it was mind blowing to her. Like, and I knew that when I did that. You know what I mean? Like, so when I called her on it, she's like, "Oh, it's just somebody took a picture of the march or whatever." I was like, "I didn't see nothing. I seen an empty street." You know what I mean? And that's what I explained to her, that this is a fucking Jewish state that's ran by the Mormons. You know what I mean? Like, Like they stole the land of the natives. You think they give a fuck about the African slaves? Fuck no. You gotta put that shit into context. There's a context to the whole thing. Legally, this is a right to work state. You got a right to work, fool. So don't cry. We're not giving you no days off. Shut up, stupid. Nah, federally, if the feds make us do it, yeah. But otherwise, nah, get your ass to work, fool. You're dumb. I want a day off, boss. Fuck no. Why? It's my grandma's birthday. Fuck no, stupid. It's Martin Luther King. Who the fuck is Martin Luther King? You know what I mean? You wanna take a day off for Martin Luther King? Come and ask for your fucking grandmother. Hey, my mom's in the hospital. How about we take a day? We take a great day off for Grandparents' Day or some shit. You know, they're like, let's honor something that makes sense. Not a individual, not a fucking idol. Fucking no martyr wants to be fucking. It's a martyr, man. You know, make idols of him. Go kiss his toes and see what you get for it. I mean, the man left us wisdom. He left us a legacy. You know what I mean? The rest of that, what do you want? Cry me a river. I don't want to hear it. Go to work, fool. My homegirl's calling me. What she worked like 11, 12 hours or whatever it was. I said, get that money, man. Get that money and shit. And then next thing she sent me that picture of the march and shit. That's when I called her. I was telling her, I said, see, shit. These motherfuckers want to be all out there protesting whatever. You ain't getting your money, fool, in a right to work state. You can sue over the right to work in this state. You want a day off? Nah, call in for your grandma, man. Don't call in for some dead dude you don't even know. You know, free Israel. Free Israel from what? Israel's a harlot. That's all Israel is a harlot. Israel's Jezebel. That's all Israel is. Free Israel from what? It's captivity? Okay, God, come now. That's the only way the Jews are getting free from the captivity. What do you mean? They put themselves in that captivity now. They have a whole nation state. They have the world at their disposal. What are you talking about? As if the Jews haven't always ran it. Listen, the oracles have created all of this, dude. There ain't no distinction between all of it. What do you mean? You don't understand how divided the house of Israel is, do you? You don't understand the judgments of the house of Jacob, do you? Free Israel from what? Its own judgments? You better turn to the Torah to knock, and you better listen up, fool. That prophet is knocking at your goddamn freedom. You asking for Messiah to come, motherfucker. What you mean free? Otherwise, free Palestine. Quit bombing, motherfuckers. Why don't you motherfuckers free the slaves and let go of the land, Jews? What the fuck you talking about, Israel? You see, that's where it gets anti-Semitic, because it's those motherfuckers, them Zionists. You evil son. Those are the most evil motherfuckers there is. That's the epitome of evil. They're the ones, listen, bro, they control all of it. They control every last bit of it. He said, free Israel. Free Israel from what? Free Israel. Free Israel from its sin. Where's Yom Kippur? Tell Israel, hey, listen, tell Israel to offer a blood sacrifice on them stones. Tell Benjamin Netanyahu to offer a blood sacrifice on them stones. Where's the Ark of the Covenant at? Where's the keeping of the law in Israel? Huh? Israel ain't free because Israel lives in sin. What are you talking about in the sight of God? Huh? You don't hear the judgment of Israel right now? Huh? I got the Torah. What about Israel? You want to talk about Israel again while I'm running through here? Israel what? Free Israel from its sin? You want to talk about the sins of Israel? Where is the Ark of the Covenant? Where is the Yom Kippur? Where's the high priest? Where's the offering of the blood sacrifice? Because if you don't have it, you don't have God. You have no offering for sin. You have no atonement. You have a rabbi that's lying to you. Free Israel from what? It's sin? Israel is the reason this world is in this mess, fighting over itself. Those 12 tribes have fought over every empire since then. As if you can conceal the fact that you used those technologies to advance those civilizations and then crumbled them behind you and fled. And you get here and think you can outrun the fact that Torah now, time to talk about it. Where's the blood sacrifice to God? God wants a blood sacrifice now to the house of Israel first. Where's your blood sacrifice at? If you ain't got no high priest to go into the Holy of Holies to offer no blood sacrifice, if you ain't got them stones to sprinkle no blood on, what you got? You ain't got no atonement for sin. That's to the house of Israel first. Now the rest of the Gentiles, what you got? Because you don't keep the Torah. Ain't no Christians keep Torah. That's the most divided house there is. So what you want to talk about? And Islam ain't no different. We know that. After the prophet died, them heathens went to go and scrambling over the oracles. Ain't no different. Same who break orders, doing the same thing, hiding the same principles in plain sight. They can't hide it no more. I'm out here in public giving it to you. I don't got to hide in a church house, dude. I just turn mine on and run. Think about that. Think about the liberty that I have in the sight of God as opposed to the rest. Free Israel, I'm free. I don't need that. Messiah got me. Or he's coming, right? Because the only thing we could do now, is pray for him to come. Every man now must turn to pray for him to come, right? Because now what? We've reached the end. We reached the ocean. It's a flat earth. We reached the end now. 7 week in Bible prophecy. It's time for atonement, baby. To the house of Israel first. It's time for atonement. Where are the stones at, baby? Who got the stones? What nation has the Ark of the Covenant? Aaron's rod. Who has the vessels of the house of God? Now we want to talk about sin, and we want to talk about freeing any nation on earth. We want to talk about any nation being righteous in the sight of God. Where are those goddamn stones at? Where's the sacrifice at? Huh? God requires a blood sacrifice. Where's it at? Don't talk about your Jesus, dude, because you ain't got him to prove that either. You've been lying and believing the same snake oil shit too, so what? You want to talk about it? That free Israel from what? It's sin? You hearing your sin, Israel? Remember Yom Kippur. Remember Alexandria. Remember Benjamin Netanyahu invoked the spirit of Amalek into the earth. Oh, the spirit of Amalek is in Benjamin Netanyahu. What do you mean? When he said that, the spirit of Amalek is in him. That's what he provoked. That's exactly what happened to Palestine once he said that. And look at how ravenous they became over there in Palestine. Oh, they were so bloodlusty. They seen the purging. To them, that was the end. It was theirs now. Oh, those Zionists thought that, yeah, What are you talking about? Who keeps Torah? Israel's prime minister doesn't keep the Torah. Israel doesn't keep the Torah. What are you talking about? Israel. That's a political nation state that's held up by the United States, which is held up by the same people, the same oracles that came from, the building of the temples and stuff, starting at Babel. It's oracles, diviners. But, so free who? Free mankind from our sins, right? You see, because you can't turn on, every stone is getting unturned, aren't they? Where do you go hide at? Huh? Where can any man hide from God? You gonna go free who? Free this world from its sin. 7 weeks. I posted that today too. 7 weeks. So just a reminder. What's the day? Monday. See, I forget. I know when Sabbath is. I always know when Shabbat is. I've labored so long. I'm so exhausted. I know when Shabbat is. Free Israel. Tell Israel to free us. Tell Israel to free us from the spirit of MLK. Tell Israel to go execute justice against Benjamin Netanyahu. What do you mean? The only way you're going to free Israel is to execute justice against Benjamin Netanyahu. Hang him. Benjamin Netanyahu should be hung at the Hague. That's real shit for the sins he's committed. For the atrocities that Benjamin Netanyahu's committed in the name of Zion. No, he deserved, because he acted in the spirit of MLK. He did exactly what MLK did. So yeah, it's time for them to crumble. It's time for him to go. Babylon, baby. Israel gets its place. Why? Because of the Allied forces. You didn't understand that all of the seizing of the German address was by the Jews. They're the one who crumbled that empire under themselves. You guys are dumb. They build them up and then they crumble them. They fight over this shit and then they run. They go changing names and shit, man. Crazy. They can't. Free what? Free us. You guys are all the landowners. The people who own the most land in the world are either fucking Jewish or Arab. So free the land now. To the house of Abraham. To all the seed of Abraham. To the seed of Ishmael first. Fucking free the land. They keep cutting my shit. I'm gonna end it because I see I'm being observed too closely on this shit, dude. When that starts happening right there at pivotal points like that, I'll leave it alone. See, that's when you start ruffling feathers of people behind the scenes. Never mind these trolls. That's a higher order of people with some greater influence that are saying, hey man, hey little guy. And you know what? They picked up traffic around me too. Yeah, I understand something. That's why my backpack got heavier too. That's what I said on this live. Explosive, dynamic, you know what I'm saying? That's what the state record reads of me. So I had to make my backpack heavier. I had to add something. I had to add some fuel to my explosion. You know what I mean? I had to make sure I have all the essential elements necessary to explode all out at once, become lethal. You know, that lethal force, just dynamic and just massive mass. You know what I mean? Or I might, never mind. But let's see. That's it. Free Israel and we're ghosts. All right, I'm gonna leave. I'm tired. And I gotta head to the way other side, so I'm gonna do a moving. You guys be blessed. You guys be good.